And mate, do you know if 11 has been settled on yet? I know it's possibly too soon for that, but are you expecting some changes, like some of the guys who haven't had a game yet to play?
Potentially. As I said, I haven't really spoken to selectors. Can you hear this?
We can hear.
Give one mic to stop and one mic you all can manage.
Hit the other road.
You want me to use this? Okay. That's all right. No, I'm not sure on the 11 whether or not some guys will have a rest. We haven't been in this position before, so I'm sure it'll be spoken about to maybe get some games into the guys that potentially might play down the road. Green and Agar, those guys have may play a role as the tournament goes on. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be spoken about whether or not the guys pull the trigger and go for it. I'm not sure, but we'll wait and see tomorrow, I suppose.
Matt, have you played with or against many of the Scottish players?
No, I haven't. No, I saw a little bit of the game against England. Their batting certainly looked pretty impressive at the top of the order there. So no, I haven't. I'm signed for the Scottish T10, so I'll get to know them later on.
And have you seen much of Mark Watt's long ball, and what do you make of that tactic?
I have seen that on a few Instagram reels actually. It's clever bowling. I mean, a lot of players are looking to get a little bit of an advantage and to sneak up and bowl a ball from near behind the umpires. Clever. I've just got to make sure I don't pull away when he does it this time.
I mean, just on that, like speaking of pulling away, Wadey, can you explain kind of what happened the other day with the dead ball that you thought was a dead ball? Yeah, the music playing at the ground kind of started to die off, but then they've also got a band at the ground, so as that was dying off, the band started playing, so kind of like I thought the music was going back up, so I just pulled away. I think Rush saw me go, so he kind of just followed me, kind of put me in a tough position. If the ball was wider, I would have just let it hit the stumps or whatever, but it was kind of bowled at me, so I just blocked it and thought play on. I thought it was just going to be called a dead ball, but clearly to the letter of the law, you can kind of dictate how you want to dictate, but the short boundary to the leg side, the wind was going to the leg side. If I was backing away trying to go offside, then something was wrong with my thinking, but yeah, it is what it is. That's how they interpret it, and we move on. I know it's slightly different, but the thing with Watt the other day, I think he had a couple against Oman where, you might have seen it. It's a slightly different thing, I know, but is it something everyone needs to be a bit more aware of in terms of bowlers doing different things and being ready at a different point? Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I played international cricket for 15 years and I'm learning the rules as we go as well. So, I don't actually even know the rule. Like, once you take stance and face up, are you saying that you're ready to the bowler? I actually have no idea of the rules, so I think it's just got to be common sense at some stages. But, we'll see I'm sure he'll pull it out tomorrow at some stage and we'll see who's on strike. Hopefully it's not me. I'm just interested as well, like you played such an important role in that 2021 World Cup win. You've obviously started the tournament a lot better than you did in that one. Just like, is there a similar feeling in the group now to then? Yeah, we're having a good time. We're like, this environment now we're not result-driven team. We're more about the process and going about it the way that we want to play in big tournaments, and that's what we're doing. That's the pleasing thing. Yeah, the results are great, and it's good to have a few wins, but more pleasing that we're going out, we're executing, we're playing the way that we want to play. Whether or not we'll be on the other side of it at some stage, I'm sure, and it's more about reflecting on what we're doing and how we're going about it rather than the X's and O's, I suppose.
Matt, there's obviously been a lot of talk about net run rates and this fixture in this group. We saw England flex their muscles pretty impressively against Oman. Will Australia be attempting to do the same against Scotland? We'll just play, I think. We'll just go out there and play. I did an interview before, and as players in World Cups, you expect to play the best teams, and if England's going to be one of those best teams, then we'll play them down the road at some stage. Like, it's really out of our control. We'll go out there and play the way that we play. Whatever happens from there happens. If we see England down the road and they qualify, good on them. That's the way it goes. And you talked about the Scottish T10. What are you looking forward to in playing in Scotland? Golf. I'm looking. I mean, it's going to be cool. I was involved with MLC last year, and to see, T20 tournaments, T10 tournaments, these countries get opportunities to see some of the best players in the world come in and put on a show. It's exciting for the country, and it's exciting for players to go and do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting over there and see what it's all about. Sorry, who have you signed for? That's a good question. I couldn't tell you the exact team, sorry. Okay.
Invalor, something like that I think it was called, sorry.
Okay, cool. And just finally, do you know much about, you talked about the batting, do you know much about their bowlers? Is there anyone you're particularly looking out for?
Individually we'll go through their bowlers, whether it's, England or South Africa. We don't really sit down as a batting unit and go through bowlers as a collective. We get little packs that get sent out tonight, and we kind of go through their bowlers individually as you please. So I'll have a look at them over the next 24 hours. I haven't seen heaps of them, and a lot of the other guys that we've played. You've just got to do a little bit of research before the game to see what you're getting. So we'll do that tomorrow.
Matt, it's a role that you've now played for the last few years, like batting down the order, number 7 for Australia in this format. Can you just explain the mindset of someone who does that? Like, it's such a fixed role, and like how, especially in a run chase, like how are you thinking about your own game when you're watching the game play out?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it over, probably the last 3 years. 2021 is when I made the move down there, and I'd done a lot of it as a younger player for Victoria, so I was pretty comfortable going down the order. But just really the connections that we've got down there now with David and Stoinis and myself. I think Andrew McDonald said 3 years ago that he wanted to try and keep us together and create a combination there, and I feel like 3 years down the track we're still developing that, and we're getting better at that every time. So it's nice to bat in that position for Australia. You go in, you've got Maxwell going, Stoinis going, you've got Timmy going. You kind of, at times you can just get them on strike and wait for a few overs at the end yourself. But just getting to know those guys and what they need at the end and vice versa has been really fun and a challenge that I probably needed late in my career. So no, I've really enjoyed it, and fingers crossed we can win a few more games.
And just training-wise, I was just watching one of your nets where you just spent nearly 15 minutes practicing the same shot or getting into similar positions. Has that changed a lot for you as well, like how you train for T20s these days?
Yeah, a little bit, a bit more impactful, just getting the nets and try and get that intensity up straight away, because opening the batting, you can take your time a little bit. When at 7, you've got to go out and keep that intensity on the ball straight away. So yeah, shorter sessions, more intense, trying to hit more sixes rather than hit the ball on the ground. Yeah.
Matt, after the 2021 World Cup that Australia won, did you initially think about retiring, or how close did you come to retiring from T20 cricket, or maybe after the one that was in Australia 12 months later? Did that thought cross your mind, and you're glad you didn't?
Yeah. The great players retire. Most of us just get sacked. So I would have been sacked after 2021 if we didn't win that one for sure. That was my last opportunity to put a stamp on that position, and thankfully it went my way. And sliding door moments throughout a long career happen all the time, and that's definitely one of them for me. And yeah, at the end of the last one, I was pretty open with George and Ronnie about where I saw myself, and I knew I could still have an impact. But if they wanted to move on to the next cycle of players, I fully understood that as well at my age. Thankfully, I've stayed around, and I had to perform in the 12 months to get here as well. So I feel like I'm at my best when it's last opportunity, or I'm coming towards the end of a stint for Australia. So hopefully I can pull some good stuff out in the next little bit. But it'll be the same conversation at the end of this one, mate. It'll be, where do they see the direction of the group? There's going to be players go out of this team, and I'm more than comfortable if I'm one of them and get the next cycle of players coming in play for Australia. That doesn't bother me at all.
And you're vice captain in a team that has Pat Cummins in it.
Yep.
Adam Zampa was talking about the importance of your leadership the other day, the way that you talk to bowlers and you see things on the field.
Yep.
What role do you see yourself playing? Like, what do you bring to the table on the field as a leader?
Yeah, I'm behind the stumps. You get a great look at it. Obviously, maybe a little bit better than some of the other guys, but it's a real collective. Myself, Mitch, and Kama were all in a leadership group, and we meet before games with the coaches and go through a lot of stuff. So it's a real collective out there. Having Pat so close to Mitch helps quite a lot as well with communication. But just seeing the game, working out the rotations of the bowler. We play 4 specialist bowlers and a 5th bowler as well. So just talking with Mitch about when's the best time to use guys. Feel like I've got a good feel for the game behind the stumps. So when to bring Zampa on, when to use impact with Hazelwood, just little things like that throughout a game that communications are happening all the time. You're probably making two or three tough calls, 50-50 calls throughout 20 overs, and just being there for him if he needs me. He's got a great touch feel of the group. He's great off-field, Mitch. He's developing every day on-field, and his tactical stuff's been good at the start of this tournament. So, yeah, just lending a hand when I can.
Just wondering if you'd given much thought to your Super 8s group. It looks like it's probably going to be 3 Asian teams with Bangladesh, Afghanistan and India. Like a lot of spin on
Yep.
wickets that are potentially getting worn. Just your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think coming here, a lot of us are prepared for plenty of spin, depending on what venue you get to. I know he's a good wicket. I think this might be the venue we play India at, so that'll be nice. But yeah, we're going to get a heap of spin. Guys have been preparing for that through through IPL into the start of this World Cup, so we expect nothing different. And they're all on their day. They're all going to be very, very hard teams to beat. So yeah, we're expecting them to hit us with a fair bit of spin over the next little bit.
And just going back to the T10, the Inverness, whatever they are, I saw they put you on a horse in the.
Yeah, I bet it's been flying around the group chats. Don't worry. Yeah.
Just what was your thought? Like, do you actually know how to ride a horse? Or?
I've never ridden a horse in my life. My daughter did it for a little while, and I watched her. It looked way too hard. So no, it was. Yeah, the boys have been giving me some stick for that.
So just one more on your role.
Yep.
Obviously, you batted a lot earlier in your career at the top of the order, and now you've had success down at 7. Is that the hardest position in a T20 spot to actually bat, down at being expected to go for it straight away?
I tell them all it is, but nah. It's honestly, I think number 4 is the hardest spot to bat in T20 cricket. You're not in at the power play all the time, but sometimes you might be in at the power play. Then you've got to negotiate spin from 7 to 15. So I think number 4 is the hardest position in T20, and I think you look at most of the really good teams, they've got that position covered, someone who can, play spin well and find a way through those middle parts. I certainly think that's probably the hardest spot in the team.
Matt, is the team a little amused at some of the reactions to the tongue-in-cheek comments coming from your camp on England and their chances of progress and the reaction to it?
Yeah, I mean, Josh, everything can get lost in translation a little bit. So yeah, a bit of tongue-in-cheek from Josh, and I've seen it. It's gone everywhere. But as I said, it's not taking up any oxygen from us. We have not even spoken about it. We're just going to go out and play the game of cricket and see what happens. It is what it is.
Perfect. Thanks.